Hi there. Welcome to my views and news. Thank you for joining the live chat session. Can you hear me, viewers? Thank you, Daniel, for responding with yes. Three main topics in today's live chat. Let me welcome the participants. First, Average Dom says, "Hello, Sajid. I recommend a book, Getting Ethiopia Dead Wrong by Sondres. Simon Tesfaye says, hi. Samail says, when was there a united Fano? Well, they tried to unite Fano in Gondar recently. That was a big development, but now they're facing a challenge there, it seems. Daniel Abate joined. Welcome, Daniel. King Ben Vlog is talking about Macron's visit. Read a video on that, by the way, an hour ago. Simon Tesfaye says, Sajid, are the Amhara groups who are going to Rati affiliated with Fano? Yeah, definitely. They're anti-Ethiopian government opposition. Surafil Mehari says, hey Sajid, how are you? I'm fine, Surafil. Mengistu Kitila says, you never answer this question. Why are you forcing on Ethiopia? Tell us this only country we have our, don't let your mass our country. Well, Mengistu, I'm not forcing anyone to watch. Why are you saying, why are you forcing on Ethiopia? What does it mean? I am not forcing anyone to do anything. I have every right to cover a country of my choice. You have a right as well to watch whichever channel you like. You can watch My Views and News. You can watch uh, other Ethiopian news channels, YouTube channels, etc. Why do you stop? What do you want to stop me from talking about Ethiopia? What's wrong with that? Do you have to be an Ethiopian to talk about Ethiopia? Jafar Jamal says, Assalamu alaikum. Samail says, the structure you see of Fano is of respect, not authority. Well, you cannot run armed groups through respect only, by the way. I told you about how Kamsa Dereba Jalmaro is running. Hola. Same is happening in Amhara too. In armed groups, force is used generally. Discipline is imposed too. Humanisium joined to Average Dom says some of your viewers are childish. Well, I read comments and questions from all the viewers. We learn from each other. Sometimes we have wrong information, sometimes we have agenda, sometimes we are misled. That is why we interact here. We try to understand each other. Wakgari Baja says because he don't know what free journalism is. So Rafal is asking about allegations against Jawar. Okay, I'll explain that. Dilhas joined. Welcome, Dilhas. Janal to says, hi Sajid, how are you doing? You are my reliable news source and I appreciate the quality of your work. Thank you, Janal Truth. Thanks a lot. Daniel says, have you seen Jawar's post about Macron? If yes, what does it mean? I have not seen that, by the way. I was busy recording a video about Macron's visit. Then I was preparing for this live chat. Then I wrote an article too on Macron's visit. It's on newsedis.com. So, could you just tell a little about what Jawar said regarding Macron's visit? Chestnut Spark says both Somalia and Ethiopia have different interpretations of UNCLOS declaration. Do you think an agreement is unlikely after February? Okay, I'll respond to it. Aman Voice joined too. Aman is the first member who joined today. Aman has a special blue colored badge. Members have special badges too. Thank you for joining, Aman. Warm welcome to you. Amano here as well. Three main topics in today's live chat, viewers. Firstly, it seems that the dream of uniting Fano in Gondar is facing hiccups. We heard a few days ago that two major Fano groups united, but now we're seeing opposition. Secondly, Jawar, is he corrupt? Why is that now Prosperity Party backed activists have launched a campaign to uh, prove that Jawar is corrupt? And thirdly, Ethiopia, Somalia, viewing uncradicalization differently. Both have different interpretations of what uncradicalization means. So, what is going to happen in February and in the talks after February? Let's start with from Gondar. A few days ago, two major Fano groups in Gondar united. Most of you know that Gujjam and Wollo Fano are largely united under uh, regional command structures. Each of them is under a regional command structure. Shoa is not united. Daniel wrote Jawar's post about Macron. Jawar said, I hope President Macron gets a good autograph. This could possibly be the last encounter. Who knows? So Jawar is predicting that Abiy is going to leave. Okay, is it because Jawar is uh, in trouble? He knows that government is after him, Ethiopian government. He is being forced to leave Kenya. That is why he's making such claims. Or does he really have any plan to force Abiy out of 4 kilo? So, in Peace and Love joined to welcome Peace and Love. In Gondar, two Fano groups united, two major Fano groups. One is led by Hapte Walde, based in North Gondar. Second one is led by Baekenau. I think it's in South Gondar. The two publicly announced that they have come under one command. And that was a big development because unity of Gondar Fano was a very difficult task to be accomplished. But it seemed that, and the two, back then we heard that Gondar Fano groups accused Skandar Naga, that Skandar was the main obstacle to the unity of Gondar Fano. And that Skandar Naga had lost all presence in Gondar. But today, another Fano group from Gondar announced its opposition to Birkenau Hauptewalde alliance. This group is called Emperor Facilis Army, led by Major Amino. He openly opposed becoming part of the alliance, which was announced a few years ago. Another group as well announced. So two Gondar Fano groups today announced their opposition to Hauptewalde by Kinnau alliance. Again, we can say that Gondar Fano is split. In Gojam, we saw that Zamina Kasi by force united Fano. He fought rival Fano groups. That was Skandar had to leave. In Wollo, alliance was largely peaceful, I would say. Let's see what happens in Gondar. Either the groups, Fano groups, will remain split, or we could see Zamine Kasi style attempt to unite Fano in Gondar, and that could lead to infight. We'll have to wait to see that, but dream of uniting Gondar Fano under one command is facing a setback, it seems. Gurracha says America about to recognize Somaliland. Why is Hassan Sheikh so quiet? I don't think that Trump will recognize Somaliland as a country the day he takes office. It won't happen overnight. The Somaliland backed sources and Somaliland paid lobbyists, including some MPs in the US, are creating this narrative that Somaliland should be recognized. But I don't see recognition coming in a few weeks or even months. It's not easy to change official US policy about Somalia. Because if you recognize Somaliland as a country, what will Somalia do? Somalia was underestimated by Ethiopia when Ethiopia signed MOU with Somaliland. And you saw that Ethiopia could not implement them, though Somalia definitely cannot be compared to Ethiopia. Ethiopia is a stronger, way stronger country militarily. But you saw that Somalia managed to stop Ethiopia from implementing them. No comparison between Somalia and the US, but obviously Somalia can take some countermeasures. What about Africa? Will Africa support American recognition of Somaliland? These are very important questions. It's not just straightforward announcement by Trump to recognize Somaliland as a country. Alim Gizao is making a very important point. Yes, if US recognizes Somaliland, it could recognize Taiwan too, which could just pit US versus China. Aman Washe says, don't understand Jawar. I know you're very critical of him, unfortunately. Well, I criticize Abiy too. I criticize others too. You criticize me as well, by the way. I'm not a politician. I am not a public representative. I am just a YouTuber. Still, all day, I face criticism from you people. Not all of you, but lots of people all they criticize me. And I cannot criticize Jawar, though he is a politician, he's a writer, he's been in media as well. His political views too, not just about Ethiopia, but the Horn of Africa. Lobak Dangolo joined after some time. How are you, Lobak? He's a member to welcome Lobak. Pijo Bianchi says, Mr. Sajid, you are my hero. Love you, Pijo. Stay blessed. Ephraim Tesfaye says, Sajid, will France back Ethiopia to take Assad in case of war? Well, Macron is in Ethiopia to revive defense deal with Ethiopia. He wants to secure his naval base in Djibouti. They're here for their interests. African countries should learn how to solve their issues internally, how to be self sufficient, how to advance technologically. Otherwise, they'll always be exploited, they'll always be used and utilized by Westerners. Uh, Turkey is mediating between Ethiopia and Somalia. Why? It has economic interests. Turkey and France have been arch rivals, by the way. Years ago, when I covered Turkey, back then I remember that the two were at loggerheads. Uh, it's really unfortunate that foreigners are taking advantage of Africa, African countries' resources, their strategic location. Now, a second news story about Jawar. Is Jawar really corrupt? Why is there suddenly Prosperity Party backed activists have launched a campaign against Jawar? They are bringing up allegations of 2015, that in 2015 Jawar and his wife raised money in the name of Romeo Media Network. They raised several $100,000 US, but they deposited only a few thousand US. And then Jawar just said goodbye to Romeo Media Network. They are saying that Jawar minted money, he's still minting money. So he is not a man of financial integrity. He's not a Democrat. They've launched a full-scale social media uh, campaign to tarnish the image of Jawar as a politician. I'll do a detailed video on that tomorrow. I don't want to defend Jawar. I don't know if he's corrupt or not. I have some information about his source of earning, his income streams, by the way. I'll do a video on that. But the way Prosperity Party backed activists have launched a campaign, it means that Jawar is definitely hitting some nerves. the way he has launched a campaign against PM Abiy, both are now involved in a standoff. Abiy versus Jawar is not uh, an imaginary fight. It's not a planned or staged fight. It's a real fight now. Uh, they are at each other's throats. Abiy in power definitely wants to keep Jawar away from Ethiopia. And Daniel Abate's post, which he shared, is interesting. Jawar is saying that this is Macron's last meeting with Abiy. He should have a photograph. He should have an autograph because Abiy is going to quit. He's going to go. He's going to be just removed. It's very interesting. Is Jawar confident that he can remove Abiy, or is it just psychological game launched by Jawar to weaken Abiy? Uh, I think uh, both uh, are ready for this fight. And both are going to use whatever they have in their arsenal. Jawar weak now, popular but weak. Abiy is not as popular as Jawar, but I think Abiy has a support base too, especially in Oromia. I think he's managed to build a support base in Oromia, especially after the war against TPLF and after the operation against Fano. He has managed to build a support base in Oromia. It's not easy to just defeat Abiy in Oromia. He definitely has a support base. So it's an interesting fight, I think. You'll see new narratives launched against each other. Jawa's narrative is that Abiy's claim of prosperity is false. Abiy's narrative of development is false. No development, no progress. Ethiopia people dying. Abiy is inciting conflicts. And a counter narrative is going to be launched against Jawar by the government. Government will definitely launch its activists, and soon we could see PP politicians join in as well in the campaign against Jawar. I think they'll use two cards against Jawar, which I'll explain hopefully tomorrow in a video. Simon says, what is Jawar's, thank you, Lilo, opinion of Eratia? Well, I think he says that the divorce between Eritrea and Ethiopia in 1993 was not handled properly. Issues remained unsolved. So he is in support of constructive engagement with Eritrea. Without relations with Eritrea, there won't be peace in the Horn of Africa. So he is in support of dialogue these days. Dialogue with Fano, dialogue with Ola, dialogue with TPLF, dialogue with Eritrea, dialogue with Somalia. But he did not welcome the dialogue between Sani Nagasa and Oromia regional president Shimalis Abdisa, as if it was not beneficial for peace. Talaya W says, hi Sajid, why is Jawar so critical on Abiy after he was unable to launch his book in Nairobi? Well, Abiy wants to just push him away from Ethiopia. Abiy knows that I said a week ago that Jawar has launched his electoral campaign for 2026 general election without mentioning the word election, without mentioning electoral campaign. A year remaining, he knows he has to start early. He knows that he'll face hardships. Abiy knows too very well that what Jawar is doing, it's not just uh, sudden. There is systematic planning behind it, which will be implemented by Jawar Group gradually. It's fight for becoming the next prime minister of Ethiopia. It's not simple social media campaign by Jawar against Abiy. All day now, Jawar is busy trying to undermine the government, trying to prove that Ethiopian government is a failure, that Abiy is a failure for Ethiopia, failure for Oromia. What does it mean? It means that he is presenting himself as alternative, not just to Oromos, but to Ethiopians and to international community. Surafil says election in 2026 will be like the one in 2021. Abiy is not going to let Jawar get close. Well, I think Jawar is hoping that international community will support his return. That is why he has started his tour. He will try to influence Americans. And maybe as a last resort, he could try to mobilize people as well by returning to Ethiopia. That might be the last option. But so far, I think he'll mobilize diaspora, Oromo diaspora, Ethiopian diaspora. He'll try to get the support of international community. Uh, and maybe at some later stage, he might return to Ethiopia. Triangle Man says after being freed from jail, Jawar was going around trying to convince diaspora that Abiy is great. Now things failed. He is the biggest critic. No one in Ethiopia is to be taken seriously. Well, what Jawar is saying now is his electoral campaign. When he came out of prison, he remained silent. That was part of the deal. That is why he was released. He was told to be quiet or to appreciate the government. But now gloves are off. I don't know, Lilo, anything new about Erga Kabbede. Alim says, has he reached out to Fano? Yeah, Alim. I don't know, but he said that he is in contact with armed groups, including Fano. He said that. He's claiming that he is in touch with Fano, with other armed groups. Surafil said, do you think he will actually succeed in getting attention? Well, He's getting attention of people internally. Romania is a large region. He is an immense following in Oromia, in large parts of Oromia and other parts of the country too. Diaspora uh, is supportive of Ola too, and he is not criticizing Ola. So he'll receive diaspora support as well. International community would put pressure upon Abiy definitely for free, fair election. Uh, they don't want another SAS work in the Horn of Africa. Americans, Westerners are sick of SAS Savuki. They tried to remove SAS Savuki from power. They imposed sanctions. They backed anti-SAS elements. They could not uh, remove SAS. Prolonged Abiy rule could pave the way for another Sasa work in the Horn of Africa in the home of Abiy. So they would like, I think, election to be balanced. The Horn Affairs is from Asmara. Welcome, Horn Affairs. Are you based in Asmara or you're based abroad? Dark Star says, why hasn't the ENDF adopted to Fano's decentralized nature? They are fighting Fano as if they are fighting TPLF. Well, what can they do? I mean, militaries have some limitations when they fight armed groups, guerrilla groups. Militaries are not trained to fight long guerrilla wars. Uh, they're adjusting, but the conflict is set to go on. Military cannot crush Fano in a day or in a month. That is why, no matter how much military adapts itself to Fano, military cannot just wrap up this conflict in a few days or weeks. Peace and Love says, no doubt Abiy is going to be like his ass. Jafar says, people underestimate Jawa's diplomatic and geopolitical skills. And by the way, I think Abiy now won't improve relations with Eritrea because he is eyeing another term. Any closeness between Abiy and Isaias will uh, not be good for Abiy to get support from the West and US for another term. So I think this gulf between Abiy and Isaias will continue. He won't reconcile with Isaias. He wants to be seen as anti-Isaias till election is held and he gets another term. Triangle Man says, Sajid TPLF said gloves are off too. They ended kissing the ring. Jawar will put back the gloves too. Ethiopian politicians have no principles and their constituency does not hold them responsible. They have one principle, they want power. And for power, they fight. So Jawar wants his share. He wants his turn to lead Ethiopia. He thinks that he is the one who brought Abiy to power. Kio movement weakened EPRDF. That is how PP was formed. That is how Abiy came to power. And now he thinks it's his turn. It's fight for power. Daniel said, do you think Jawar will use the same technique he used before? Well, we can analyze this question. Can he again use the old technique? Alim says, can you comment on fake journalists going to Asmara to fight dictatorship? Well, I think the confrontation between Eritrea and Ethiopian governments is public now. Ethiopia publicly hosting Brigade Nihamido, other opposition groups. Eritrea obviously will do the same. It is going to invite, it's going to back, it's going to fund anti-Ethiopian government elements like Amhara activists. Nothing surprising for me, by the way. I think behind the scenes, more is happening. Not just visit of Amhara journalists to Eritrea. The Horn Affair says, do you believe Ethiopia is prospering under Abiy's rule? Well, Abiy's vision of prosperity is infrastructural development. I did some videos on Abiy's achievements in the past. You can watch the videos. I did some videos on his failures too. I'll do videos soon in coming days. So I will explain myself what I think about Abiy's tenure. Last topic was there in the live chat. Somalia, Ethiopia, Ankara declaration. Why is that still no consensus? Both are interpreting the declaration differently. Somalia's officials say that the MOU between Ethiopia and Somaliland now has been cancelled. Ethiopian officials, on condition of anonymity, say that MOU is intact. Who to believe? It seems that they are going to meet for long and difficult negotiations. Talks due to start in February, at end of February, should complete in 4 months. But issues, differences are so huge that talks could go on for months, not just 4 months. Because still basic issues are unaddressed. Somalia, in its official statement, Villa Somalia clearly said that Ethiopia will only get access to sea for commercial purpose. Ethiopia is silent. It is not issuing any official statements about Ankara Declaration. It is only saying that Ankara Declaration is a diplomatic success for Ethiopia. I think that we could see really tough negotiations between the two countries starting at the end of February. Simon testifies one comment I want to read, then we'll end the live. He says, things can't get much worse than they are already. Future is bright. Well, if you ask me, 2027, 2026 rather, will be the toughest year for Ethiopian economy. Now, money is coming, IMF, World Bank giving money to Ethiopia. Yes, there is inflation, there is a high cost of living, but still, uh, people can somehow manage to survive. But the money which is coming in Ethiopia, if it is not utilized properly, Ethiopia could face a bigger economic crisis after around 2 years. So we cannot say that there won't be a worse situation. There could be a worse situation if the money entering Ethiopia is not properly utilized. Pharmacon's comment, last one says, do you believe Ankara declaration did have not at least unwritten consensus on MOU? I could not understand your question. Black Lion joined to welcome Black Lion. It was 41 minutes have passed. I think we should end the live chat now. It was good to be with you. I was a little tired today, but I managed to make it to the live chat. I'll be back tomorrow. Tomorrow is the last live chat of this week. I think we'll see political developments now, new political developments unfold in Ethiopia. We need to monitor security and politics both go hand in hand in Ethiopia. Hopefully, you'll stay in touch with me. If anything I'm missing in my news, in my analysis, do correct me, do express your views. You can contact me by email. Let me welcome Mehari too. Mehari joined after such a long time. Uh, in touch with me for around 4 years. Mehari is from Tegerai. Special welcome to you, Mehari. Hope you're doing fine. If you have any questions, Horn Affairs, I am here. You can email me, SAJID672000. If any important information is going uncovered, which should be covered and video should be made on it, you can share that too with me through my Gmail, SAJID672000. Thank you for watching, viewers. I need to go now. I'll be back tomorrow. Stay blessed. Bye bye.